I was born in South Miami, and my background is Italian American. I went originally to Parsons in New York for design and illustration, and then I came back to Miami and went to New World School of the Arts. From there, went to Kansas City Art Institute for my full undergrad, and then did my master's at University of Miami.
I was either going to study theater or art or music, one of those three, because I didn't want to do anything else.
I would have to say that I was highly influenced by my professor, a few of my professors at Kansas City. Even though it was not like this kind of place where they would coddle you or they would, dote over you, there was like this relationship with the faculty that was really influential, for me.
Do you feel like a person's background or maybe childhood development can influence their creative ideas?
Oh yeah.
How are there any events in your life that you feel like influenced you to?
I think I was given a lot of freedom and leeway in my life. My mother was very at a young age, she was like, you're making your own decisions, you're responsible for yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute, I'm like, 10, 12 years old here. Like, what do you mean I'm making? And she's like, yeah, you're old enough to, decide for yourself what you want to do. So I had a lot of independence. Anytime I was interested in anything creative or crazy or, it didn't matter what, I had the support that, my family backed me up.
Does art or your artwork or anyone's artwork, does it always have to convey a message, whether it's political or social?
Well, I feel like if you want your work to be that pointed, to use the term again, then get your soapbox and go stand in the square. There's ways to do that, but I don't think art it loses its kind of I don't know. I think that there should be an element of humor to it, because a lot of times humor can be more effective than this serious reactionary shock work, where they just, it's like, this is what you need to look at. You need to see this because it's happening, and okay, great. That shit is on TV 24/7. I don't want to see that in the gallery. Otherwise I'd have been a newscaster, or I worked for Fox News, or some talk show. I'm an artist, and so I like humor. I like to kind of play with things, and so the work that I'll make, if it's about that kind of imagery, if it has that kind of imagery in it, I like to leave it a little open, a little playful, and if people pick up on it as a joke and as as whatever it is, however they pick up on it, I think it's a little more effective that way. They can kind of say, oh, yeah.
Do you feel it's important for them to know, okay, this is what it means, or do you want to leave it up to the audience to depict what the artist?
I feel like it should be open. I feel like not completely open. I mean, you can insinuate certain ideas, but I think it's detrimental to pigeonhole a piece, to so fine a point where you have no other choice but to see the piece as that one thing. you know, because then it kind of becomes almost like assault, you know. It's like you're assaulting somebody with your idea, and you're kind of like, and I don't know, to me that's not what art is for me. You know, art is about something like wider open, leaving it. You could put that idea in there. You can have those things in there, and if somebody sees that, and then that's great if they discover that. But to kind of like insult their intelligence by throwing it right in their face, I find is, you know, I don't like that.
What elements do you work with the most?
I'm interested in a lot of things, and my work, you know, you can see it's like it's sewing and drawing, and I used to paint a lot. I used to take a lot of photographs, and I think I got burned out on taking photographs. I still like to do it, but I'm not so much anymore. Right now, what is really easy for me, and it was because when I got to sculpture school, you know, that's what you're kind of confronted with, and that's what my ideas were about. That's what kind of got me interested in the first place, was working with metal, working with steel and large, dense, heavy objects, and trying to make them seem light. You know, I like to make these hybrid objects where there's a fabricated element, and then there's also the element that's the found pieces, found objects that are altered or put together in different ways. My work is very formally based. The big ones, those pieces are very much like drawings in space, like three-dimensional drawings. And I think that's why, like, a lot of people ask me about the color issue, why black all the time, you know. And I think that for me, it limits it and brings it to its most basic form. And so when you see that thing in space in 3 dimensions, on the floor, above the floor, then it has its shadow that falls underneath it and around it. And that shadow, in conjunction with those other black elements that have their own shadows on them, creates this kind of drawing, you know. That's just, it's really, for me, it's highly formal.